Hello guys, this is me, Bradley Prater, and welcome to another video game review of a pretty interesting game. This game is actually pretty old, but there's so many people that haven't heard of it, I thought that I would play through it and actually give you guys a good review of what it is. This game is called LA Street Racing. The game is developed by Invictus Games, a game organization or developer that was founded in 1992 and made games all the way up until, I believe, early 2009. I'm not quite sure on that, but we'll run with it for now. I know that they are recently bought out and they're actually making new games now, but their projects are currently a big work in progress. Anyhow, we're not talking about their new projects. I think that we're going to be talking about one of their best projects. Actually, I take that back because I really don't think it's one of their best projects. Essentially, in the start of the game, you are going to be doing street races to be able to build up a car of your choice. You get a choice of 2 cars, and you have to race for actual car parts to be able to make it up through the ranks of a rivalry list. That's the best way I can think of it. It's literally you start at the very bottom at like a couple hundred or something like that, and you work your way up one by one through the list of. It's a tier climbing game essentially. But there is absolutely no money involved. It's all betting pink slips, wagers, reputation, and car parts. So this game is pretty old, and I genuinely thought it wasn't going to launch right off the bat when it came to running on Windows 10. But as soon as I clicked the start button, it ended up launching right away, and it was running perfectly. What didn't work perfectly was the fact of the matter that I tried using a PS4 controller to play the game, and the PS4 controller actually acted like direct inputs, kind of like how the keyboard would function if you just used that to play a racing game. Everything is a direct input, it does not have a limit, it does not act like a joystick, nothing like that at all. But with the Xbox controller, when I switched through, I switched it halfway throughout the game, and the Xbox controller actually had real inputs, so when I used the triggers, it functioned like a trigger instead of a solid button. In my opinion, I kind of think that this game runs more alongside of controlling like the grid games. It's got an arcadey feel to it, but it's also kind of a simcade. It's pretty fun to play. It is based around illegal street racing, of course, but there's no cops that chase you. It's all circuit racing. And every single time you move to a new area, you unlock 2 to 3 new racetracks to race on. Speaking of that, there's actual shortcuts that you can take that help you get an advantage on your opponents, because most times they're actually faster than you. Every time you move to a new location in the game, you have beat 25% of the career. So you only have 1 to 2 racetracks every 25% of the game reached, so in total, at the most, there's like 12 to 15 tracks in the game, which it kind of sounds like a lot, but when you do them over and over and over and over again to be able to get anywhere, to make any kind of progress, it gets kind of annoying and really boring. At that point of time, when it started to get boring for me, I literally couldn't play the game anymore. I got to the last part of the city in the game, and I was literally so done that I just shut the game off, and I couldn't look at it anymore. This game is completely designed to be a grind fest, and I totally appreciate the grind and the grunt that it takes to play through this game, because it's not easy by any means, but it's definitely not a game that I would prefer. In all honesty, it's pretty disappointing to me that it's not something that I would prefer to play, because I am a huge racing fan. I love good racing games. Well, it's really good control-wise. So the cards, like I said, they control really well. The graphics actually look really good. There is customizability for the cards, but you just have to work really hard to unlock the car parts, the body panels, the paint jobs. Everything you have to do bets on in order to unlock, like I said before, and that's how you get nice looking cards. That's how you get the cool street cards that every what do you want to call it, like cool kid, I guess you would want to call would drive. This game kind of takes a little bit of a Fast and Furious view and mashes it together with Need for Speed Underground 2, and then somewhere along the lines it lost the fact of the matter that you need money to build a car. Something that seriously impressed me, though, was the fact of the matter that the game had a full damage model. So when you hit something, It literally affected the alignment of your vehicle and would make it track left or right, or make it drive crooked for the remainder of that race. During the race, you could do a repair option. There was a button that you could hit on the keyboard that would do a full repair of your vehicle, but it took however many seconds to do that, and 9 times out of 10 your opponent was right on your tail, so there was no point in repairing your car after you wrecked it. So you just had to do your best and make it to the end of the race. There was no restart button, so if you lost, you lost. All the vehicles in the game are based off of real models, but they have their own in-game name, kind of like Grand Theft Auto. I think that my favorite car in the game was the Honda NSX, the 90s model, because you know this game was based in 2006 or something like that, so there was no new NSX. So with all the things that I do enjoy about the game, I think one of my absolute favorite things about this game altogether is the soundtrack. Every track is made by the developer and put into the game. Like, all the music is composed for this game, and it is so early 2000s, like it's not even funny. Like early 2000s hip hop and pop mixed with a little bit of like a late 90s kind of reference to movies. The music isn't bad. It's good, but it's also kind of comically bad at the same time because it's just really, really dated. On terms of everything that I brought up about this game, what do I think I should rate it? To be honest, I'd probably say a 5 or 6 out of 10. Actually, I'm gonna rate the game a 5.5 out of 10 because that seems a little bit better. It's good in some aspects. It thrives in some locations, and that makes it truly special for what it is. But it plays just like it should for that era of game. But I feel like it's super duper short-handed, and there could be so much more that could have been done to make the video game even better. The AI controlled themselves very well, the racing environments were good, the cities were really well detailed, but it just fell flat on its face when it came to the replayability factor. I think this game has absolutely no replayability factor. And to a certain point, it becomes so mind-numbing to play that you just get to a point where you just don't even want to touch the game ever again. And that's why I'm going to give it a 5.5 out of 10. If you enjoyed what you had to see about this video, please leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. I am always going to read the reviews and see what I can do to improve myself when it comes to doing reviews. Your comments to me are actually kind of like a review. Aside from that, if you want to see more, please subscribe to the channel. I'm going to try to upload as much as possible. I don't ever really have a set schedule, so whenever I get around to doing a video is when I end up getting it done. So thank you guys very much for watching, and you guys have a wonderful day. Keep on gaming.